ask you guys a question. Do you go day in and day out doing the same thing over and over again? The mundane chores of life, waking up, eating, going to work, coming home, going to sleep, and rinse and repeat. You go to work because you have responsibilities. You owe people safety. You owe comfort. You owe a life, especially if you have children, because they didn't ask to be here. And being a man, you have to produce, because no one wants a man that cannot produce. No one wants anyone around them that is not producing. So you get up and you work for a company that says they care about you, that says they value you, but they will only pay you what they feel like you are worth. They won't pay you what you are beginning to believe and beginning to know you're worth. They are not treating you as the human being that you know you are. You are beginning to see that the corporate structure is no longer the way it was 10, 15, 20 years ago, that you are beginning to be a commodity, just another number on the books. And you're beginning to realize that you are expendable and you can be disposed of just like the piece of equipment or the piece of machinery, no different than a printer, no different than a fax machine. If you're not producing, you too will be on the chopping block. And now more than ever, you all are realizing that you will never be wealthy, especially working for a company, working 9 to 5. And don't get me wrong, working 9 to 5s are admirable. They help you take care of your family. They help you take care of your bills. But you're beginning to realize every day that you wake up, every month that you pay your bills, you're beginning to realize that each and every dollar is not worth the same amount that it was last month. Something is clicking in you, especially if you're in your 30s. A sense of urgency is hitting you. You're beginning to realize that the lies that were told to you in college and the falsehoods that were told to you, that if all you had to do was go to get a bachelor's degree and you'll make a substantial amount more than a person that does not have a degree. And in some aspects you can make more, but you're beginning to realize that my bachelor's degree, in some instances, my master's degree does not go as far as what they told me it would go. So every day you come home and then you look and see the people that are out in the world making tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then you look back in on yourself and you do not believe you can do what those people can do. Why? You're no different than them. You're made of flesh and blood. The same tenacity, the same strength that gets you up every day to make sure your kids and your wife are taken care of, that they are fed, that they are in need of nothing, is the same thing that those people have. So why do you believe that you can't do it? Why is there an overwhelming sense of fear when you think about having to go out and make your own money and be responsible for your own business, or be the one that people depend on outside of your home? Why is it a crippling fear to think about you not being handed a paycheck every other week or monthly? Why is it an overwhelming sense of despair when you think about those situations? Did you guys ever ask yourself that? Did you guys ever ask yourself, why is this irrational sense of panic and fear coming on me every time I think about going outside of my comfort zone, getting handed a paycheck, getting handed a wage where did you deserve more? When you know in the back of your mind, if I step out of my comfort zone, if I do what my conscience is telling me, if I do what God is telling me to do and walk outside in faith, take my skill, take my talent and work for myself, it's because we've all been trained from kindergarten all the way through college that we have to depend on someone else for money. That exact piece of paper that you get is a piece of paper to open the door for you to work for somebody else, for them to be in charge of how much you get paid week in and week out. Because those schools, no matter how many good teachers they are, and it's not all their fault, I believe it's some great teachers out there, the structure that is made for our children, us included, it is not made for us to soar. It's made for us to be two things. Number one, good workers that can sit down and do a job for at least 8 hours a day. And the next is to be great soldiers. It's not meant to be entrepreneurs. It's not meant to create people that can go out and work for themselves and make millions for themselves and can solidify their own futures. It's not made for that. And I'm beginning to believe that all of you know that This system is not made for that. No matter how much that sense of codependency pulls you back to that structure, in the back of your mind, you believe and you know that something is not right with this system. And think, the same people that are in these positions making millions for themselves, hundreds of thousands for themselves, and feeling comfortable, they're not putting their children in those structures. They're either homeschooling their children or putting their children in private institutions that help raise their children up to be entrepreneurs and to be the head of industries just like they are. So I know you're tired. I know you're tired of waking up every day, each and every day, and not being appreciated. Waking up each and every day and knowing if I took my talents somewhere else, if I took my talents anywhere else, even on my own, that I would make substantially more than what I'm making now, and I could solidify the future of myself and the people around me. Because you know, when your boss gives you that raise, that you know if whatever they give you, you deserve double that, but they're not going to give it to you. They're not. The same people that tell you that you're not worth what you're telling them you're worth are the same people that go out and spend millions and spend hundreds of thousands in your face and then dare you to ask them about it, dare you to ask the question and say anything about the money that's being spent around you, but they can't put it in your pocket. They can't give you the appreciation that you deserve. They will work you to the bone before they give you the money that they're putting into everything else around you that they feel like is worth it. So the people that are out there, I don't care if you're 20 years old. I don't care if you're 30 years old. I don't care if you're 50 years old. If you're watching the video that you're watching now, know that it's time for you to move. It's time for you to get up. It's time for you to listen to that still voice in your ear. If it's God, if you're talking to God, I want you to listen, and I want you to get up, and I want you to take that leap and go out there and push and work against the grain, because that is the only way you're going to live in your talent, and you're going to live in your God-given ability to make sure that you can go and soar. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to work. I'm not saying that you can live on a beach and your money will make millions upon millions by yourself, and all you have to do is sit down and drink Mai Tais on the beach. That's not going to happen. Working for yourself is going to be hard work. Working for yourself is going to mean you're going to miss sleep and miss out on some things. You're missing out on things anyway. You're missing out on things working that 9 to 5, right? You're having to work long, late hours. You're having to do things and work the weekends and do things that you know you really don't want to do, but you have to keep your job and your boss happy, right? You have to keep that secure blanket of protection of money that you can get in every other week. That easy money, right? That comfort money. It's not a coincidence that they give you just enough to make sure that you're happy, but never enough to make sure that all of those needs are met. Pay attention. All you have to do is look back and look around and observe. Wipe the sleep from your eye, get out of the clouds, and just observe the way things operate. And you will begin to see that it's all crazy and it's all nonsense. I'm going to continue to say that there's nothing wrong with making sure that people around you are taken care of, especially if you have responsibilities and especially if you have children. But I know that each and every one of you that are watching this video know that it is not meant for you to work day in and day out in that same routine just to make a paycheck. There is more to life than that paycheck. You're wondering why something's not right, that you're feeling unsatisfied and you're feeling like there's something wrong, because it's not meant for us to sit there and just make a paycheck. We, each and every one of us, have the abilities and talents that are given to us from a higher power that we are not living in and day out, because people around us are feeding us with lies and telling us that we can't work in with those passions and work on those gifts, or it's silly to work in those gifts, or we will never make it working in those gifts. I'm going to tell you right now, to this day, to start letting those things go. Get up, live in your God-given talent. Stop procrastinating. Stop living under the excuses of people around you not believing in you and you not believing in yourself. It's time to make a change. You're not getting any younger. And every day you don't live in your purpose and you don't live in your dream and you don't do the things you want to do to catapult yourself, it's another day that you're never going to get back to do it. You need to be living with a sense of urgency. You need to be laser focused, and you need to get up, get out, and make it happen. Thank you for watching.